somewhere being adorable right now.
Guys, we're like 2,000 subscribers away from 50,000.
Give me some magic. Give it to me right now. Right now, motherfucker. Yes! I think it's important to explain why that number means so much to me. In order to get to 50,000 subscribers, I had to start off like everyone else, at 0. I didn't really used to compare my channel to a lot of other people's channels, so starting off with 0 was fine with me. I actually think the number 0 is kinda cool. Like, let's just take a second to think about this shit. Before there was 1 or even millions of anything, there was 0 of that exact same thing. So instead of looking at my channel and seeing no one was watching, I had looked at my channel and saw that potentially millions of people could be watching. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I kind of feel like I'm not making sense to you guys, so I guess the only way for me to explain it is for me to introduce you to the younger me. I had been on YouTube for a few years vlogging, but from the second I started to do an animation channel, I took this shit seriously. I'd post videos all the time, which, in hindsight, that's probably why my grades started to suffer, cause I would pull some fucking crazy hours trying to get shit done. It's probably not the most responsible response to things, but I really didn't care. I was just enjoying my time on YouTube. Looking back, I don't think I would call these people friends, but I met a bunch of people that had the same interest as me. But they started to grow on the platform a lot faster than I did, and eventually completely stopped talking to me. While it kind of confused me at first, I wasn't completely upset about it because the only thing they did when I was their friend was criticize me because my content wasn't like theirs. I'm gonna go ahead and preface this next sentence with there's nothing wrong with making the kind of content you want to make. People have their own video creating format, and in my opinion, I think that's something to be cherished on YouTube. But for me personally, I never really liked to make those random storytime videos about going to the supermarket or my random thoughts. There's already a surplus of channels doing that. I wanted to be unique. I was kind of in love with teaching lessons on my channel and telling my audience about times that I f***ed up so bad that I completely screwed myself in every video. I just believe that kind of content sticks out to me more. And yeah, every now and then I'd come out with a few goofball videos just for fun, but for the most part, even as I started to get older, the emotional aspect of my videos never changed. One small thing did change. I was still working hard, but I started working hard for all the wrong reasons. Because everyone else's channels were taking off at an insane rate and mine more or less stayed the same, my opinion started to feel devalued. And I wouldn't even say it was all in my head. It got to a point where I was even told to stay out of conversations that had to do with bigger animation channels. I also began to get excluded from some pretty dope ass collabs. And I even started to get kicked from group chats that I shared with friends before. At the time, the easiest thing for me to do was to be like, I don't give a f, bro, and continue working on content. Because when you have any particular dream, the first thing you gotta learn is that nobody's gonna give a shit as much as you do. Now, because this is the real world and the real world kinda functions on money, I figured the best way for me to make money and continue making YouTube videos at the same time was to get a delivery job. And it was within that cycle of doing deliveries, sitting in my car watching other people's videos, and beating myself up over the fact that I'm not as talented as them, that I realized something really important. I'm not fucking happy, man. And despite me coming to this realization, for some reason I decided the best thing to do was for me to keep working on content. As a result of that, all the depression that I was starting to feel at the time bled through every video I made. And it was only a matter of time before I subconsciously completely rebranded my channel. And at the same time as that went down, I started witnessing some pretty not chill shit happening around the place that I lived. And any effort I made to stand up and correct it resulted in me being made out to be the bad guy. And after this started happening regularly, I suddenly let in every voice that had ever told me that my opinion didn't matter. I was in pain. It felt like I was drowning, and any effort I made to scream for help resulted in me sinking even deeper. I was so busy trying to confront everyone's expectations that I'd never even confronted myself. Which is why, November 2018, I almost killed myself. Man, I thought about doing it so many different ways. Maybe I'd get a knife, Maybe I'd jump off a building. Maybe one night when I was doing deliveries, my car would veer off the road. I just know I wanted to get it done. I stayed up that night absolutely devastated at the thought that I could never contribute anything to society. And somehow in my stupid mind, I thought taking my own life would be my way of having a last laugh. I was tired of letting life beat down on me and me not being able to do anything about it.
Why are you doing this to us? When did you become so stupid?
I've always had this extreme fear of hurting others, and no mentally sane person would ever want to hurt a child. I don't think I have the right to do that to anyone, even if the child you're hurting is yourself. I came to the sudden realization that if I died, then everything the younger me had ever wanted, everything I've ever worked for, would die with me. And no matter how hard life was for me at the time, I still owed it to myself, just like you owe it to yourself, to keep trying. I put the pills back where I found them, and walked away determined to never let my mind sink that deep again. And no, things didn't magically start to work out for me after that. Shit was still hard sometimes, but knowing I deserved to live made it easier. I still feel like I'm sinking sometimes, but I chose to surround myself with people that would never in a million years let me stray too deep. What I want you to take from this video is sometimes your personal life can get in the way of what you love, and you might have a dream that requires 100% of your effort. But don't forget, you're not a machine, and it's okay to take care of yourself. I don't want to give an exact explanation of what drove me to want to end my own life because I still want to keep some aspects of my life personal. But I'm positive that if I can overcome something like this, then you can too.
Yes!